Let's get ready to rumble!
ZingerNation jam-packed show today. Peloton up 5%.
What's up, disciplined investor?
We got Benzinga CEO Jason Raznick here with us.
The man, the myth, the legend, Tom Nash.
Peter Schiff on the Power Hour with us live today.
Interesting, different, unique, innovative companies.
Nia, you are live with us on the Power Hour. What's up?
Thank you so much for inviting me on.
Jessica Billingsley, that is the CEO of Akerna.
The best trade idea resource out there.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Happy Monday morning, I guess afternoon, 1 minute into the afternoon. What's up, everybody? How are we doing? What is going on in the world? I hope you all had a very nice weekend. We got to hit it hard this week, okay? It was the last 4-day week, or last 5-day week for a week. Next week, the market is closed on Monday for the 4th of July, but let's get after it. Let's get into it. What's up, guys? Today, we've got a couple of awesome guests joining us. We're going to have Shinobi Signals coming on at 12:15 Eastern, so in just about 15 minutes from now. And then Shadow Trader Peter Raznick is coming on at 12:35 Eastern, so about 35 minutes from now. I'm hearing that my mic sounds bad. Huge mic problems. It is MIC, but appreciate you dropping that. Hugo, there we go. Well, producer Rohan is working on that. I'm just going to crack this bubbly. All right, how's that? Check. All right, give me a drop if that's better or not. All right, mic is garbage. Yeah, we know, we're on it. But again, give me a check if that is any better, guys. You are on the oh, nope, better, same. I see producer Rohan running. I think AB is going to be joining in a minute. We might just have to pass off to AB today. But he's nowhere to be found. All right, there we go. All right, bear with us, guys.
I'll see.
All right, wait. What's the input on this?
2005.
Okay. Hey, I thought you were supposed to be on the show. Oh, okay. All right, check. Mic check. All right, how's that? Try number 3. Third attempt, too quiet. Okay. It's a decent go. Is that better? It seems like maybe, but it's a little bit quiet. Producer Rohan coming in again. Okay, we're just going to move it physically closer. All right, how's that? Mic check again. Give me a read on this one, guys. Perfect now. All right. We're going with that. Jordan's calling it. Let's see if the air... At least the soundboard works. We might have to get some other soundboards, but let's try some other ones today.
This bozo over here.
Yep, that's how we feel. But all right, guys. Now that we are rocking and rolling on the microphone, this is the Power Hour. This is the Trade Idea Show. That's what we're going for. That's why we spend this hour together every single day, these 60 minutes on this beautiful Monday here in Detroit, Michigan. Because we want to get the ideas flowing. So I'm going to throw it out to you guys. Drop whatever tickers you are trading, stocks you are looking at in the chat. I want to get a beat of what everybody has going on. Yes, Shinobi Signals is going to be joining us in about 10 minutes from now. Got the mic going just on time. Producer AB in the background there hanging out. He might be joining us in a minute. But all right. First things first. Trade Idea Show. I have a stock to buy. I was going to do this before the show, but I figured I'd hold out and I'd wait. But I'm kicking it off. Starter position. Let's get the live brokerage account. This is the live portfolio. We look at it every single day. All right, these are all the stocks that I actually own in their interactive brokers account. They're having a little bit of a red day, more or less flat today. But I'm adding one now. Ticker CELH, Celsius Holdings. We're just kicking the week off like this after all the mic problems that you guys had to go through. There it is. Boom. Ticker CELH, Celsius Holdings. It's the drink company. I'm a fan. I'm a consumer. We were taking a look at the stock last week. We're opening up a position in it today. Basically, the bull case on this stock is that sales are going to way outperform. We have about 3 weeks until the company's going to be reporting earnings. I expect analysts to revise estimates upward into that earnings report. A couple things to support that thesis. One, the company had to raise $65 million. That's a cash flow positive company. They had to raise $65 million in order to buy inventory that they'd then be able to provide to their retailers. So that is one right there. Catalyst number 2 that we have going on for this stock. We had Jonah Lupton on last Friday, basically taking us through the Nielsen scan data, so how many barcode scans that Celsius products are getting. Barcode scans are up more than 200% on a year-over-year basis. Right now, the estimate is only building in an 80% estimate or 80% increase in barcode scans on a year-over-year basis. Okay, so we've got way out performance there, and then analysts are forecasting in sequential quarter-over-quarter growth. So we like this stock for earnings. If I can avoid it, I'd rather not hold the stock through earnings. Instead, I'm buying the stock 3 weeks before we're expecting to get an earnings report out of this company because I want to take advantage of the estimate revisions higher. So analysts come out, they put out earnings estimates on a stock. They usually adjust those estimates a few weeks into earnings. So that's why I went ahead. Boom, pulled the trigger on Celsius, ticker CELH. We are starting off a Monday strong with a trade. Boom. So I'm going to throw this one out to the crowd, guys. If you like that stock, you like Celsius, again, we're not going to do the full bull thesis because we just did it last week, but finally pulling the trigger today. Drop me the 1 in the chat. If you don't like it, you'd sit on the sidelines. Give me the 2. I want to see where everybody's at. And again, guys, drop your tickers in the chat. I want to see what everybody's trading, what everybody is looking at. Let's get these flowing. All right. And let's bring producer AB on here too. What's up, producer AB?
What's up, Luke? How we doing? It's Monday. Markets are back open.
Monday, markets are back open. We already made a first trade of the week. We loaded up on some Celsius.
So I got two questions for you. So you mentioned that you are a consumer of Celsius and you bought the stock.
I do have 2 bubblies today, though. That was the drink of choice.
Okay, that's good.
And I did have 2 bangs this morning.
So
I need to slow it down a little bit.
So my first question is, do you like buying stocks that you are a consumer of the product or service?
Not necessarily. I don't have to be.
Okay.
By any means.
Do you have any other? My second question was, do you have any other stocks either that you have in your portfolio now or you used to have in your portfolio that you were also a consumer of the product or service?
So for me, it's less about being a consumer of the product or the service, and more about having some sort of information edge. Not always, right? But information edge when I can. So as an example, the online brokerages. I own a lot of the online brokerages, including Interactive Brokers, who I'm a customer of, and you can see, I got this nice Interactive Brokers logo right here up on the screen. But I also own some of the other brokerage stocks. And the reason why I own those stocks is because I'm able to see the readership data on Benzinga.com. Benzinga.com, fairly large sample size, 20 million people a month visiting the site. I have an indication that interest in trading, interest in the market has absolutely not died down. There is no dwindling that's happened. The stocks have been flat while the market's gone up. And so that's why I own a handful of these brokerage stocks. So for me, it's less about necessarily being a consumer of the product. Because if you're a consumer, sometimes you have an edge, sometimes you don't. Maybe if you're an early adopter in something and you're able to understand like something that the market doesn't get yet. But for me, it's more about where do I have that information edge, which in most cases you're not going to have one.
Right.
But
I know we've talked.
I like to take advantage of it.
We've talked about it specifically like in the media space because we get data here at Benzinga, so we can kind of have a feel, a finger on the pulse, if you will, about what's going on.
NYT.
Yep. But yeah, I mean, I think it can go both ways with a stock or company that you are a consumer of the product, because sometimes if it can almost be like. It can be like an illusion, right? If you're a consumer of the product and you think like, oh, I'm all Microsoft. Like, I think it's so great, whatever. And then if you didn't get into Apple 10 years ago or whatever because you were a consumer of a product. But with that being said, you know, it can go either way. Because if you have a product that you love, maybe it's you love it because there's a good.
Yep.
But I think Celsius, you know, I like it. What I've said before is I would be surprised if we don't see, you know, Red Bull, Monster, some of the other energy drink companies put out a healthy version of their energy drink, like to compete with Celsius. So that's my only worry, is that Celsius will lose some of the healthy energy drink market share to some of these other companies that are more established.
Well, we shall see. ZingerNation, mostly bullish on that one. We will continue to follow the trade over the coming weeks. Again, last week we had a couple of options trades on the table, Tesla and Ford. We checked in on them every day, so if you're new to the show, that's just what we do. We make trades, we follow them, we have a live real money portfolio that we keep track of. It makes it sort of fun, all right? All right, next up, but before we get to our guests, and again, if you guys are just joining us, this is the Power Hour, this is the Trade Idea Show. Shinobi Signals is going to be joining us in about 3 minutes. Then Shadow Trader Peter Raznick is going to be joining us in about 20 minutes. But let's talk about these CRISPR gene editing stocks for a second. Huge news over the weekend, out Saturday, I believe, maybe Sunday, from Intellia Therapeutics, ticker NTLA, November Tango Lima Alpha. Stock's up 15%. It's a CRISPR stock. Again, guys, this is the Trade Idea Show, so I want to give you the other tickers, the other gene editing stocks to take a look at that are on the move today on the heels of this. You have ticker EDIT, that's edit. You've got CRISPR CRSP. Then you have Beam Therapeutics, it's ticker BEAM. Per our trusty Benzinga Pro. And then if you're looking at this one in particular, again, this is Intellia. You've got analysts out in full force. You've got a 171 price target, a 110 price target, a 160 price target, 63, 134, and then this low of the street at 87 bucks. Stock last traded at 133. So that's the move on the gene editing stocks. Obviously, Kathy Wood has been a huge proponent of these stocks, gotten a lot of the crowd into these stocks. So if you are in these, you're hanging out with them, congratulations. Big day for you.
Yeah, what is ARKG doing today? Kathy's genomic ETF.
What's the ticker on that one?
ARKG.
ARKG up 3%. Let's just look in the 1 minute that we have. Let's just take a look at the biggest holdings of this one, unless you know them offhand.
I do not, but if we go to ETFDB,
I'm just gonna go to their website, dude.
Oh, that's even better. Get it straight from the source.
All right, where are the holdings? There we go.
Ooh,
Top 10 holdings.
Teladoc is the top holding. That's interesting.
That is sort of interesting. All right, so none of those gene editing names that we just read off are in the top holdings here, which actually sort of surprised me.
Surprises me as well. I'd be even more shocked if they're not in the ETF at all. I'm sure they are, just in a smaller, just outside of the top 10 holdings.
Oh.
What else have we been looking? So I've been catching up on all the Bitcoin stocks today. Mara, SOS, Voyager.
Yeah, we got a nice little Bitcoin rise this weekend.
Yeah, I think kind of you know what they say about price and sentiment. Nothing like a change in price to change sentiment. And I feel like all the people that were kind of doom and gloom about.
I'm finally green on Coinbase again.
There we go.
I just need to sell that stock. I've been sitting at break even on this position for like a month. I have no reason to own it right now.
And the other stock that's been moving a lot today, we got a couple more. Workhorse, WKHS, is up about 9% today, Luke. I think they're trying to, they announced they're like suing the government for not getting the contract that they awarded to Oshkosh.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the move. If you don't get the contract that you wanted, just sue.
They were supposed to get it.
Right, and then they lost out to Oshkosh.
I missed that. Okay, that's great.
Here, I'll find the PR and drop it in.
All right, but let's go ahead and let's bring Shinobi on here. It's time.
Let's do it.
All right, first guest of the day. Let's hit it.
Yo,
hello,
guys?
sir. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, man. How are you? Thank
Doing
you guys
well.
for having me on here.
Absolutely. Welcome to the Power Hour, especially on this Monday morning, afternoon. I don't know where in the country you are to get the time zone, but what's up in your world? I was looking on Twitter earlier. It looks like you have some hot stocks, some trades you're looking at this morning. But yeah, tell us what's up.
I was mainly just looking at, Clorox. So the way I just trade, or just, how the market's been, there's a lot of stocks that have been beaten down, since the past few months, after hitting some highs in January. So I've just been playing a bunch of reversals on the daily charts. Is there a way I can pull up my screen real quick?
Absolutely. BYOC. Whenever guests have BYOC, we like it. Bring your own chart. And you know what? Before we get into it, why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit of your background and tell us a little bit about your trading journey?
Well, I started 2 years ago in high school. So what I was just doing is I got $200 from my dad for just doing chores around the house, and just started throwing it in, like stuff like Apple, getting fractional shares and stuff. Threw it in Apple, Microsoft, all these big companies. And then when COVID hit and, school was shut down, I was a senior then. Last year is when I really started diving into options because I saw it on TikTok. And then from there, I met this group of people that put me in this group chat on Snapchat, and they really just taught me how to trade options and just gave me, the knowledge I needed to learn them. So then after that, I just kind of went off on my own and just started learning everything on my own, just, researching stuff, buying courses like Umar Ashraf's course. I bought that. It was like $2,000, and that was the most helpful one.
Shout out Umar. Okay. Good friend of Benzinga.
Yeah, Umar's awesome.
And you've built an incredible Twitter following over. How long have you been on FinTwit for?
I really started in the end of February, like early March, when Zach was talking about Fubo, and then I wrote like a 12-page report at this one college party I was at, and then I was researching Fubo and stuff, and then I posted it, and then Zach retweeted it, and that's where I got like most of my fun, was building these really long and like in-depth reports about stocks that everyone on FinTwit was talking about. So Fubo was one of them, ITRM, LOTS, CRBP, stuff like that, and that's how I gained a good chunk of my following in the beginning. And then, as things died down when the market was down.
And can you tell us a little bit about those reports? So you said you put together a 12-page report on Fubo. What exactly goes into that? And really, but before you get to that, I used to do the same thing when I was in college. When I used to have to write the Benzinga weekend newsletter. It was like an 8-page PDF every single weekend. And it would be, Friday, 11 p.m. at a college party, some upstairs bedroom. Be cranking on that thing. I think I can say that.
Wait, so Shinobi, you were at the party when you wrote the paper on Fubo?
Yeah, I was. It wasn't like inside a dorm. It was just outside because we weren't allowed in the dorms, and I don't live on campus. So I was just in the courtyard with like 3 or 4 of my friends, and they were just talking about random stuff, and I was on there on my phone on Google Docs, just writing stuff, switching tabs off my phone, doing all that type of good stuff while I was on the phone with some of my friends, and we were all just talking about Fubo, and I was writing the report because I wanted to get it out. It was on a Sunday. I wanted to get it out before Monday market opened.
That's incredible.
Yeah, it was wild. And then, so like what really went into the reports is actually a lot of stuff. So Fubo is definitely my most detailed one. I held some of my friends, 2 of them are data scientists. One's at RKT, and then one is for this like one med company, and they're both data scientists there. So I had them help me, try figuring out. They did most of the work on that the chart you guys see in the report. So what was happening is they tried estimating their earnings, all that type of good stuff, figuring out how many subscribers they would have. And right before earnings and all these press conferences came during March, and we were super close. I think we were like 50K off on their revenue and stuff like that, which is super.
Nailed it. Yeah, that's amazingly close.
Yeah, I owe a lot of credit to them.
As long as Luke is within like a couple million, he thinks it's pretty good. But being 50K away that's impressive.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then I was also, remember when Fubo had this website come out called FuboBets.com, and everyone was expecting them to have sports gambling. I was on Twitch trying to figure out if it was real. So I actually had to hire a software engineer and just like these website people just go check and trace everything. And what we found out is I was on live one time. On Twitter Live, Zach retweeted it, so I started freaking out because there was like 5,000 people in there. So we started, going through like why we thought the website was real. So what we figured out is when the domain was
It did
bought,
end up being real, correct? The company created it, but it wasn't active, right? Was that what it was?
wasn't
It was
active.
real but not active?
Yeah, they just had it. So, but I mean, that was enough news to, move the stock, which was, awesome because everyone was saying I was like crazy and stuff. It was fake because one of their members came out, or Fubo team came out and said it wasn't theirs. And I'm like, they can't really just come out and say it's theirs unless they get the proper approval from, company execs and stuff. So what we did was we figured out when they originally bought the domain, or when it was created, was right around the time Fubo was created, in a week prior. And when Fubo IPO'd and switched from, I forget, I think it was FaceBank or something like that, they switched and IPO'd as Fubo. That's when the website was updated to be Fubo Bets. And yeah, it was just insane. And then it was real, and they came out and said it was real. It was awesome.
What about, I've seen the latest rumors on Twitter about Fubo, like that they're partnering with the Tennessee Titans or anything like that. Have you seen those?
No, I haven't. I mean, as of right now, I've been in Fubo. I've been adding these dips at in the teens and stuff. Everyone was calling me crazy, but now it's starting to come back. I just honestly bought it and left it to hold for however long. I want to see 70 on the stock.
I think I bought it somewhere around $28, and then it went all the way down to 18, and I was down 40% on my trade with Fubo, but I just never got out of it. I just held it, and then finally now I was red in this trade for 3 months and was like, this is the worst trade I've ever made. And then finally I just held on, and now it's green finally.
Yeah, it's awesome. Now's when you have a lot of those people FOMOing in and stuff like that. It's going to have its time one of these days.
Yeah, I think this is one that you can just keep adding to on the dip, but
put it in the Roth.
Definitely been a fun one. Yep, like Hugh says. Shout out Hugh.
Yeah, he is awesome.
Right. But all right, you were about to get into Clorox. Should we look at that one?
Yeah, so I actually have the chart pulled up.
All right, let me add yours. Oh, there we go.
Yeah. All right, so this is my Clorox chart. I posted this last night. There was this guy in my Discord. It's a free Discord. Soho, he actually showed me the setup. So what I've been playing is a lot of these downtrend breakouts. So Clorox actually had a price downgrade and hit a 52-week low, and then had a bunch of volume just show up and send it back, which was kind of cool. So right here, I drew out this falling wedge, on a smaller scale, and then on a larger scale, I drew out this insane downtrend it just broke, and it broke on Friday. So I entered today close to open and I have all this written out. So CLX is bouncing off the bottom of the Bollinger Band deviation clouds and squeezing super tight in a downtrend consolidation channel, which had formed a small falling wedge, which has broken out with volume. And you can see the volume spike right here. Also, on the volume profile, there's this sort of a gap until we're not going to have much selling pressure come in until around 186, 187. And that should be enough to, I trade options. So that should be enough. That $5 move should be enough to, move the contracts a couple 100%. And
so which okay, so we're looking at Clorox, guys, ticker CLX. And you said you got the options. Which strike did you pick, and how far out did you go?
All right, so I got 7/16s, and then July 16 I got 190 strike. Main reason is because out of all the July 16th at the money, out the monies, they had the highest open interest, and that provides liquidity on the actual contract. So I hopped into those. They were around 40, 50 cents when I hopped in and called it out, and now they're sitting around 80 cents, 85 cents, something like that. So a little over 50%.
There you go. And are you still in it? Or are you looking for it to keep riding?
Yeah, I'm still in it.
Move right now.
Yeah, I'm still in it with my full position. I actually want to see it break and hold past 180, which is doing really well right now. If we close above 180, that's just setting us up for the next leg. All the way up until here, 186 is my main target, and then possibly 190 if we continue. So yeah, I'm really watching, or I'm still holding with my full position because I still think this has a lot of room to run, especially when you break out such of a big daily downtrend. You're always going to see a nice pop upwards, especially with the deviation clouds. They're also starting to, they pinched and now they're starting to disperse, and that's one of my favorite setups to play. And then on the Squeeze Pro, what we're also seeing is a low squeeze happening, and it's going to have some bullish divergence, and so it's shifting from a high downtrend into a dying downtrend. That's going to slowly shift over into the light blue, which is a high compression uptrend, and that's what we're seeing right now. Is it's happening right in front of our eyes. should be.
And how are you looking at the 180 level? Is it a psychological level, and that's why you're looking at that? Is there something else on the chart that you're looking at that makes 180 especially interesting?
Yeah, so
Tell
obviously
us about that a little bit.
yeah, it's also a psych level, but then you can see here it 3 days it hit 180 and then rejected down before hitting low. So I'll draw that out right here. So
Okay.
right there, you can see it hit 1, 2, 3, then it just shot down, right? So for us being able to break that level so clean and perfectly, it's just showing a really good sign that okay, we can make strides to 182 today, and then possibly even 190 if we just continue this momentum that we have with the volume it has behind it right now. So 180 is definitely a psych level, but also on the daily, it showed a lot of resistance, and also back here, it also bounced off this 180, 179 level right here. So that's a pretty big level that we just broke past today.
All right, and wait, hold on. Shinobi's got to get his first air horn. Boom! Bringing the ideas. So far, so good on the trade, guys. If you're joining us, this is the Power Hour, the Trade Idea Show. I dropped the first one with the Celsius long. Shinobi's coming in with Clorox, ticker CLX. Producer AB, I cut you off. Keep going.
Well, usually we have a different slowdown guy on the show, but right now I kind of want to slow things down. What's your signal to get into a stock like this when it has a continued downtrend, like we've seen in Clorox since it? What are those highs that went up to like 230 a couple months ago?
Yeah. So obviously this was a big COVID name as well. Clorox, everyone was buying it up,
Yep.
at the stores, even the stock. But right now, what I was seeing is, I'm mainly of a technical trader. I also use the price, I watch the tape and price action level 2, all that, but that's on my Thinkorswim. I just pulled up this for right now on TradingView because it allows for more customizing on the charts and stuff. But mainly what I watch for is I just like to see the downtrend break with a good amount of volume, right? So once that happens, the people will always, all the algos start hitting on it, market makers start showing up because that's when it starts to reverse really. Another thing I really like to look at is if it breaks and then retests the level, and that's when I'll add again, and then it jumps back up. So I'll show you guys something that didn't work out. So this was a trade I was looking at. Cole in my Discord, he looked this up for us. So right here, you guys
him on blast. Okay.
Yeah, it was his fault. But right here, you guys can see his daily downtrend. It was a super nice play. It was setting up super nice. We had the squeeze. We had a good amount of volume. We even had the VPA protecting us around this level where it's at right now. It broke past on Friday, and I thought today it would come down to retest because when the market opened, it was super red. When it came back to retest, it actually broke under the level, and Cole actually hopped in before. It retested and confirmed it. He hopped in before he blindly entered, so that was something you don't do. But over here, you can see once it broke through, I was like, yo, just cut your losses. It's going to dip down more because it broke such a big level here. Now we're probably going to see it come down to this 108 support, which has always had. So it was a downtrend, but it was also forming a descending wedge and had a support at 108. So we're probably going to see it come down to 108 before it, either breaks under 108 and just completely tanks or bounces back and tries breaking the downtrend to the upside and, continue with the S&P 500. But usually we look for a retest of that level and then, add back on those dips. But here it wasn't that way.
So you do both, like the fundamentals and technical analysis, because you were essentially calculating what you expected the revenue to be of Fubo, and you're also doing the charts. Do you tend to do both on like every single trade you make, or what's your process on that?
All right. So when I trade, options and I'm looking for like 1 to 2 week swings, I won't really take a big dive into the company's, fundamentals and stuff. I'll mainly trade off technicals on those. But if I'm, looking for a long-term stock like, Fubo, when I played that, I was looking at the technicals. It was setting up really well. And then I really take a deep dive into the fundamentals because, technicals aren't going to, send the stock up that much. But fundamentals, for longer term swings and stuff like that, like I have it in my Roth. So I'm swinging it for a long time. I have my price target and I'm going to hold it till then or until it hits my stop loss. So I usually, take a deep dive into the fundamentals and actually, I was emailing their investor relations like on a daily basis back then too, trying to get as much information as I could. And I was, showing up to all their conferences online.
Awesome.
So,
Yeah,
that's
incredible.
Yeah, I really take a deep
And
dive.
did investor relations respond to you? They got back to you and everything?
Yeah, they got back fairly quickly, like same day type stuff. And
So
I
you
mean,
guys, people are accessible. You know what I mean? Like you don't know if you don't try. That's great.
Yeah, so we've heard from a.
Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead.
You first.
I was just gonna say we've heard that from a number of guests, including Jack Hurley. He loves to do that: is reach out to the companies, reach out to their IR team, reach out to the management. He said it's a good sign when they're accessible, when they get back to you. But it sounds like to me, so essentially, if you're looking at something for a long-term investment to put in your Roth, you'll do the deep dive on the fundamentals. But if you're just looking to do a trade, a swing trade, then you're aligned more on the technicals.
well, I didn't hear you. I had stuff cut out. What did you say? I'm sorry.
I was just kind of reiterating and trying to figure out. So essentially, if you're looking at something long term, like to put in your Roth, that's when you'll do the fundamental, the deep dive. Versus if you're just doing a swing trade, a 2-week trade, then you're using more of the technicals.
Yeah, and also, that stems from like Hugh Henney because I remember watching one of his PGIR episodes and he was talking about emailing a company. It was like a bio company. He was emailing their investor relations, and I didn't really know what it was back then. So that's when I really I started shooting out emails to everyone, especially smaller companies, like companies that are under like $20, they'll always get back to you usually. It's really hard to get it back with like bigger companies, but smaller companies, they're always going to get back to you. Like TRCH talked to Hugh Henny that day. Someone asked.
Good question out of the chat. What sort of questions do you ask the investor relation teams when you reach out?
So I always just ask. So like for Fubo, the main thing I was asking is like, are you guys integrating sports betting? And obviously they would dodge the question. They would be like, oh, we're having this conference here. You can ask it there. So mainly I would ask, when are your next conferences? Where can I sign up? All that type of stuff. And then I'd really ask them like, okay, how much does the company have on like cash on hand? All that type of stuff. And they'd usually send me a link to like an SEC filing or something where it shows all the information. So I didn't really have to go look for it. So they would just do all the hard work for me. I just sent the emails, just stuff like that.
There you go. Outsourcing the work. Awesome. All right. What? One last question for you. So obviously you started young. You talked about you wrote the Fubo paper while you were at a college party, which I absolutely love. What's the plan? Is it trade full time? Are you going back to school? Are you done with school? What's the plan?
Yeah, so I'm Indian, right? So my parents they want me to go to college.
You're going to school, okay?
Yeah, but I mean I'm gonna trade full time while I'm there, and then right after too, because basically like do what Hugh did. I was talking to Hugh, and then talking to him about dropping out, but then he told me he's like, yo, if I could get through 4 years, you could do the same. Even if it's not good, just have the the knowledge or experience that comes with it, and Hugh's the man, so I'm always gonna listen to him.
Boom, awesome, man. Well, I appreciate you taking time out of your day, joining the Power Hour, dropping an idea, full breakdown, full write-up on CLX. That's what we do here. Shinobi, we're going to have you back sometime.
Yo, can I shout someone out?
Shout him out.
All right, yo, Rocket
Or
Catch
put him
and
on
Bob.
blast, whoever it is. But
Yeah,
sorry.
we're going to put Rocket Catch and Bob on blast. He was like, yo, put me back on Benzinga. And I'm like, all right, I'll let him know.
There we go. All right. Well, you got to make that happen, producer AB.
Yes, sir. Rocket catching Bob. We got him.
Boom.
All
there
right.
it is.
Have a great day, guys. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you again for
Thanks
hopping
joining
on.
us. Boom. How about that one, producer AB?
That was fun.
That
It was
was
a good
good,
interview.
guys. I liked it.
What's up, Jason? Welcome.
I liked
Power
it.
Hour.
Can you guys hear
Mr.
me? Or no?
Raz in the house.
Is it microphone working okay?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
You never know with these things. This
You
new
never know.
technology, all you
Look
guys
at
like.
this. I had to get mics swapped today, actually.
Why?
Started with one. No good. We switched to the other.
Yeah. You think that's the issue?
Or I was faking it to buy myself a couple extra minutes to get ready.
I don't know. What is Intralinks, Lukey?
Intralinks?
Yeah.
It's like a data sharing, like a
what I
secure
thought.
data sharing. Yep.
Good business.
Yep.
So we have some more guests coming on today, guys.
Yes, sir.
We do. We should have Peter from Shadow Trader joining us here momentarily. I sent him the links. Hopefully he pop.
Aaron Bree. I'm playing in this golf pro am, and I'm playing with this person, Lexi Thompson. She's in the LPGA, number 7th ranked. This guy, Griffin Johnson, and then 2 PGA players. Like it could be Wolf, it could be Tony Finau, what, I don't know, Jason Day. I'm not sure that part. But there's one extra spot. Maybe we should lottery it off on the Power Hour.
That'd be fun. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. We probably have a couple of viewers here with us that are in the area that would make the trip up for it. I'm sure that'd be really fun.
In the area, though, this is something that people fly. I mean, I got people flying from Florida, California for it.
Yeah. I mean, Mr. Dave, El Presidente, Dave Portnoy, he's still a maybe for it, right?
No, I'm not hitting him up anymore on it.
He was being a little Portnoy?
You know what they say? He's being a little bitch. A little bitch. He should do it. He should. It would be a good time for sure. But he's I'm not doing it anymore. So,
what? All right. So it's you, Lexi, Thompson, and then the other two spots are undisclosed right now.
Griffin. Are you not?
Oh, Griffin.
Griffin Johnson, TikTok. Aficionado. But yeah, it should be. I mean, like Phil Mickelson's there, Bryson's there, Ricky Fowler. They don't have what's his name? Dustin Johnson this year. He was there 1 year. So Paige Spurnick is not playing this year. She played last year. She's not playing this year. So we gotta find the fourth or the fifth. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't know. Anyway. All right.
Kristen, so it's at Detroit Golf Club in Detroit, Rocket Mortgage Classic.
Yes.
All right, I got the Tesla chart pulled up for you, Mr. Raznick, up 2.5% today.
I know.
It's Elon Musk's birthday. That's a nice little birthday payday for him. Anytime the stock is up, a couple percent, he makes a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, it's still my biggest position by far because I don't know how to sell with hedging. Like today, I would probably hedge a little bit, but I'm just not good like that. I don't know how to do that. So,
well, I wonder, are they listening to you yet about making the plaid more noticeable from the outside? Because I heard what you were saying on pre-market prep on Friday. I guess the reasoning behind it, which I never put together, but just the fact that it'd be really expensive to change the molds to make it more noticeable from the outside. But I do think they would benefit from it.
Yeah, I mean, they have a logo that's different on the back side, but I don't know. I haven't seen any updates to the plaid thing. I should just buy it so I could see it, but it'll take some time to get it, so I wouldn't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know, but we got Shadow Trader in the waiting room, right?
All right, yep, let's bring him on.
What is Lexi doing at the Rocket Mortgage Weekend? She's playing in the Pro-Am. She's an ambassador for Rocket Mortgage, so she's playing in the Pro-Am. The Pro-Am's the day before the real tournament. It's a practice round for the pros, and then about 60 to 100 amateur golfers play in it. So,
have you participated in the Pro-Am before in years past?
Not this exact thing. No, it was a little different back then.
All right, we're bringing on Shadow Trader.
Yep. Hello. How are you?
Hello to you. What's going on?
How are you? Are you still kicking butt for everyone?
I am. It's my job.
It's your job. You always do it. You're like one of the most popular guests we have. You've been doing this for years upon years, and you have such a following out there.
I appreciate that, Jason. Thank you.
It's true. It's not even, it's just facts. It's not even me being nice. It's facts. That's
facts.
What it is. It is.
That's what the kids say. They just go facts.
Yeah, facts. That's what the
big
kids
facts. Do. If it's really like a big one, you got to go big facts.
Big facts? Oh, good. All right. Good. I add that to my repertoire.
All right. There you go. So what's the market telling you these days? Or take it away. I mean, do you want to share your screen charts? Anything you want to put up on the screen?
We could in a second, but first, here's where I'm at. I think Fed continues to dominate this whole thing, and it will be a little bit of time before some actual tapering occurs. We had a big tell recently, I think, where we had a little bit of a scare in that taper word came up, and then you had Powell, and then you had Bullard come over the top the next day with even more sort of hawkish ambitions, but price is king. And it showed us very quickly that the market rejected any sort of weakness, which I think, to me at least, tells us that in the short term, which is the arena that I play in, the market is just waiting on the next move. So does that mean we're okay for the next, I guess it's 4 weeks now or whatever? I'm gonna look at my blotter, like whatever the next meeting is, right? Are we okay until that? Probably more than likely. Between now and then, I think all people need to just watch for is potentially something on rates. I know we have a debt ceiling thing end of July, I think 31st, but I'm just trying to kind of put into perspective any pitfalls that occur or how long of a runway we have before the market has any sort of, reaction, basically, potentially to the downside. That's what I'm thinking. So to me, it's the same trade for me that I've had on for months now, which is just a more tentative, conservative version of what I usually do. I tell my subscribers this all the time, that how I feel about the market is 100% reflected in my trades. And obviously I run an advisory, so I share my trades live with subscribers. If I'm doing risk reversals, for instance, where I'm willing to constantly sell puts to use the money to buy calls, that's the most bullish I can be, right? Because think about it, that's the most bullish stance. That's the right. You're literally taking on risk on both sides, right? Your calls could go to zero, the market could fall, the puts could go against you. I do that a lot. Like I'm always, if I'm bullish, I'm always looking to sell puts in order to finance those calls. So that's a very bullish stance. We haven't done that many of those types of trades over the last few months because the market has just felt more tentative. Does that, we're still making money, we're still doing stuff, but we're more opting for a softer approach of like, okay, well, we see this name, we like it. What structure can we put in where we could sell some put credit using, broken wing butterfly, ratio spread, whatever, something complex, as opposed to just going, all in on that call side. And that's where I'm at. And I kind of stay there, like right now, I'll be honest with you. What do I have? I'm looking down at my sheets because I'm old school and I write everything down with pen and paper. We're long Tesla, we're long Caterpillar. We're long Tesla again. We just closed kind of. We got a small piece of one Tesla for the end of this week. We just rinse, repeat, did another Tesla for July 9th. I just did a small AMAT. We'll look at that chart in a second for the end of this week. I think AMAT's got a little chip shot up a little bit higher, 146. But that's about it. That's really it. And I've got some names to share with you. I know this is a stock pickers sort of hour, trade ideas, whatever. So I got a few, but I'm just telling you where I'm at right now.
Yep, it's the hour of trading ideas. And so on your Tesla positions, what month do you buy? What's strike price? I think you said July, but I just want to go into it a little bit. No,
absolutely. So what I do is I rinse, repeat weekly options. My time frame outlook is very short. So what I do is I will look for a situation about 10 or 11 days before expiry. So all the expiries are obviously on Friday. So I will look to get active on the Tuesday or Wednesday of the prior week, which I have always found is the sweet spot of exactly where there is still premium to be had. And also when it immediately starts to erode very quickly. As you know, that theta starts to accelerate very fast once you get into the latter part of the week that precedes the expiry. So that's the sweet spot for me. And those folks that are listening know my MO. Those of you who follow me in my weekly options advisory, you know that that's pretty much my MO is I will take that expiry that's 10 days away and I will look at it this way. I would say, okay, I'm bullish. What are the two structures on the two different sides? Meaning, what can I structure on the put side that will bring in credit, but at the same time, not leave me exposed to a lot of risk? And what structure can I take that premium and use either all of it or part of it to establish some structure on the call side to benefit from the move up? And depending on how bullish I am or more importantly, how okay I feel with the market at this time, which as I said, I don't feel all that, 100% okay with it, that will decide what those structures will be. For instance, let's just take all the way to one end of the extreme. If I'm extremely bullish and I'm cool with the market, that structure will probably be something like selling those puts straight up naked, taking a lot of risk, and buying an expensive call vertical on the call side, right? Let's fast forward to where we are now. I do it differently. In the Tesla trade, we just did it. This is our third one, actually. These have worked out fantastic. I'm looking back at my notes. We did one for June 25th. We did July 2, and now we're doing July 9th. So, for instance, June 25th, we sold the 550-500 put ratio. Credits were fantastic. There's a lot of great IV in Tesla. It was $1.50 credit. That's huge. So think about it. You're long a 550 put, and you're short 2 times 500 puts. So you've got downside protection, and at the same time, you're collecting $1.50. So if the stock tanks, love it. I might even make $50. Do I think it's going to 500? No. So I love the trade. Obviously, it's a little bit margin intensive, but you can cut it off using broken wing butterfly, whatever. So I take that $1.50, and then in this case, I spent it on, I'm just looking back at my notes, what did I spend it on? 620, 640, 660 call butterfly, I guess. That was that there. Or actually, no, I apologize. 620, 630 call vertical. In that sense. So you see, you kind of get the idea. You're bringing in some defined credit on one side, and you're getting some sort of upside that way. July 2nd was very similar thing. 570, 500, $1.30 credits. And we had a structure that was 650, 680, 710. Turned out that stock rallied a little bit much faster than we thought, so we didn't capitalize that much on the call side. Still made a little bit of money, but then we did some esoteric stuff on the put side, adjusting that 570, 500 a little bit higher, continually taking in credits as we go. And one last thing I'll just say, and I know that maybe for some folks listening, this is a little bit esoteric. It's a little bit, beyond kind of basic options theory, but understand this. If you have a stock, and this is kind of a holy grail, it really is. I think people should really listen to this. It's very simple. If you have a stock that has high IV, and you are able to put on a structure where you buy one and sell two on either side, if there's high enough IB, but obviously it's easier on the put side. Understand that if that structure is really wide, as time goes by, even if the stock does nothing, right? The structure has to expand in your favor, right? Because all options do what? They're all on a bell curve like this. So they all do this, and they all crunch at the money, right? So if I'm long closer to the fat part of the distribution and I'm short the tails, well, the tail keeps losing money and the longs, right? So you see my point. So that's to me, that's always been fascinating, because you want to sell credits to make money, but I teach people how to sell credits and then close that trade for more credits. Not many people do that. People just sell credits, and then but what they usually do, which I think is ludicrous, is they either just sell the puts naked or they sell it as a vertical. And a vertical structure makes sense. I get it. I understand that's kind of the simplest form of options, trade of kind of putting things together more complex than a single. But me personally, I would rather be long before short. So so that way, when the market has a downturn, I think that the most money is made in the markets by sort of enhancing how well you sleep at night. And if you can because what that does for us as traders is it maintains an even keel of our emotional capital. And that's something that newer traders don't understand, is they don't put enough value on their emotional capital. They're just constantly staring at their financial capital. But if you deplete your emotional capital, and a good example would be selling a vertical in the stock, and then the stock is down 3 days in a row, and then you close the put vertical for a huge loss. It might not have hurt you that bad, but this is destroying you emotionally. Your emotional capital is really getting hurt that way. Whereas if you were in a ratio spread or broken wing butterfly or unbalanced butterfly, you had a different structure that was still collecting credit, you would either probably sit tight. Your spread would kind of, not expand too much against you. You might look at it as, aha, I'm about to come into the sweet spot of my put spread. I can actually close this for further credit. Or you see what I'm saying? Like, it's a completely different mindset. You would look at things differently. So I just wanted to mention that, because I think that's very important, that a lot of people don't talk about that difference between, emotional capital, financial capital, and it's important.
Yeah, that's really interesting. We might have to have you on sometime for a more extended appearance to break down the butterfly spread and all that. So
Absolutely.
Pete, real quick, you mentioned that the market right now you find kind of tentative, like you're not having as much. What would it take for you to become more, for your sentiment to be more bullish? Would it be the next Fed meeting and them saying that they're not going to raise rates, something along those lines, or?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think honestly, at this point, given the way the market is trading, in that we continually make new highs every day, but we make them very incrementally. And I'm a big believer that that's not, it's bullish, and it certainly can go on for a long time. Don't get me wrong. But I think we would all agree that that's the type of complacency that tends to smack people in the face a lot. And I guess, to answer your question more specifically, yeah, if we had another meeting and then the market had the same exact reaction as it did now, where they, the meeting will consist of them starting to talk about, right? Like that's what they did last time, basically, is they said, well, we're just starting to talk about taper, because they want to couch it as softly as possible. And like we said, the market went down for a day and a half and rejected all those lower prices. If it did that again, then yeah, we would have to assume, okay, once again, this market is absolutely not fearful of a curtailing of bond buying or whatever. And the market's just going to stay focused on the fact that if they hew to we're not raising till 2023, and then there's a couple dissenters that say, no, it's going to be 22 or whatever, then I guess that's it, and we have to just, maintain course. But at the same time, I think it does make sense for short-term traders or traders of any ilk to take note of how long it's been since any sort of correction. I just saw a blurb this morning, and you guys might be able to look it up for more detail. I apologize, I don't remember the exact, but it's been the longest time, I think, since a 5% correction, something like that, right? Is 8 months or something like that. I can't remember the specifics, but I read it this morning, and I should have actually snapshot it to write it down, because I thought it was significant that there's a certain amount of time has passed since, a larger 5% correction. And, that's just how things happen. And certainly, don't get me wrong, I absolutely am not thinking bearish. I do very little on the put side. I generally get active on the put side after we have one good day down, but the good day down has to exhibit certain characteristics. There has to be a increase in tempo, increase in negative breadth, negative advanced decline lines. Contextually, it has to kind of show and prove, because there's lots of liquidation breaks in the markets that are nothing but that, where you have sort of last in, first out, where short momentum traders who just happen to be the last ones holding the bag will tend to, dump a bit. But that's not the same, that's not the same thing as something more protracted that'll, that'll go on. So, I think, and I apologize for rambling a bit, but I'll tell you what I'm doing, both for myself and for my subscribers, is trying my best to always err on the side of caution while making money consistently. And I think if you do that, you will be profitable over time. You will hit less home runs, but you will sleep better at night. And then your emotional capital will be always, your emotional capital tank, so to speak, think of it that way, will always be full. It'll always be very full. And that will allow you to take larger risks on down the road when you see something big you want to go for. Like, okay, like now I think we have a peak here. I have a specific stop in mind. I can kind of put it up against this S&P level, and, let's buy, 25 contracts of puts on the downside, or whatever we want to do, something like that.
Got it. And then, Peter, I do have Applied Materials chart pulled up, AMAT. I don't know if you want to pull up your charts or your screen, but I do have it pulled up. I just wanted to get your thoughts on this stock right now. I know you
absolutely. Can you throw that on a daily? We can just, your chart looks great. We can just do it right on yours. It looks fantastic.
Yes, sir.
So you see this shelf that's building right there? And
here?
Yeah, you even have that line right across, which is perfect. And if you just count those days, I mean, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th day that we've tested that level. That's just basic TA. I mean, it should break, right? I mean, I saw something earlier today saying that the chip supply issue should be, solved by a certain time. It just struck me as bullish, this thing I read on it. But that's not something I would base a trade on. But I'm curious, maybe that's the reason why we're getting a little bit of an uptick here.
I think a lot of these, NVIDIA was also legging up today, really big. I mean, absolutely. NVIDIA is one of my favorite stocks, almost up to 800 all-time highs here.
Absolutely.
I think definitely we're seeing some of that tension in that market being eased in the supply chain for semiconductors. And that's how it always happens, right? Is there's a shortage or a tension in the supply chain, and then eventually, as it always does, the supply chain wins out and gets it figured out, whether it's with oil, semiconductors, no matter what it is. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, it makes sense. Absolutely. So this play in AMAT is really just short term. I was thinking that for the end of this week, if we breach this little resistance level, it would make sense to target something around that 146 strike, because it is that midpoint, not midpoint, excuse me, midpoint of like a butterfly or something like that, but it's that prior high.
Yeah, we got it right up here, 150,
exactly. Yeah, so
146.
if anyone's interested, those 142, 146, 150 call flies for the end of this week are about 77 cents, 75 to 77 cents. And that strikes me as good risk reward, because, you know, it's better than 5 to 1 or 4 to 1 rather. Right. Yeah, it's $4. So it's better than 4 to 1. I like to be at like 3 to 1 is kind of my minimum. You know, I don't like options plays where it's like just, you know, look to double your money or whatever. I'm trying to look at spreads that are about 1/3 of their max value. This one's less than a quarter. So I kind of like that. Not big size, because and the reason I say not big size is not because I'm not trusting of the pattern. I think it looks great. But when your duration is short, as is this particular trade, because it's only out to Friday, understand this. You got to be right, and you got to have a lot of things happen at the same time for you to be right. So it kind of turns into more of a binary event. So when I was putting this out for my subscribers earlier today, I said, you know, this is a smaller size trade, because when that duration is short and you don't have a lot of premium in that chain left to work with, there's not many adjustments you can make. So what happens basically is, you know, let's say AMAT falls out of bed and it's trading, you know, 133 tomorrow. What's going to happen is obviously you're going to lose a lot of premium, and there's not a lot you can do with that. Where conversely, let's say you're in a butterfly structure that has a full 11 days to go, or 2 weeks, or even 3 weeks. And I certainly do stuff like that all the time. That's much easier to adjust. You can take those strikes and you can do things with them because you've got premium to work with. So that's the only caveat I would say to people is if you like the idea, it's more of a smaller size idea because you have less opportunity to adjust on a short duration.
Got it. And for anyone just joining us, this is Peter from Shadow Trader. I got his Twitter in the chat if you want to give him a follow on Twitter. Peter, thank you for joining us today. We are running out of time, but like I said, I'd love to have you back on another time for a more extended stay to be able to, you know, break down those call butterfly spreads a little bit more complex.
No doubt. Anytime. Anytime. I love what you guys are doing with the channel. I think it's fantastic.
We appreciate it.
Thank you, Peter. Thank you. Shadow Trader's the best. We appreciate it. Have a good rest of your Monday, sir.
All right, man. You guys take care.
Yep.
We'll see.
Happy trading.
Yep.
Good trading too.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Yep. Producer AB, he knows his stuff. I mean, he knows his stuff. Puts, calls, selling. I mean, like, just like I wish I could take my fundamental analysis on certain picks. You know, I wish I could take my fundamental analysis and like figure out how to put the trades on he would to go bullish on it or what have you. Like some of the options. I mean, I can't even imagine how much more money I would have made on Tesla if I did it the way he does it.
I can't lie to you. I wish some of his strategies didn't go over my head, but they did a little bit.
Good. They did go over your head or did not? I'm not
sure. They
They
did. I said I wish I can't lie, but
okay. So no, it's a good one. It's you know.
See, I made it sound like I was like we should get you back on to explain our audience to the more explain, but really it was for me. I want him to come back on to explain.
Now, some of my positions are long term, and I just whatever. But I know we gotta go to technical, but I gotta update I like to do this when I go on. So what am I getting hurt on today? And what am I up on today? So Tesla, I'm getting Upwork is up 2.44%. UPWK, we're at 57. I know a lot of us bought more in the low 40s. I bought more. My original buy was like at 21 or something or whatever. Now I bought another 200 shares. It's one of my biggest positions, Upwork. Generac is still doing nicely. Today, GAN is coming back a little bit. API is coming back. The one that I thought
Big 10, B10 or whatever.
Yeah, we'll go to that. Big 10. Yeah, 1 second. We'll go to that. And then, so where I'm getting hurt today, let's go to the ones I'm getting hurt. And the ones I'm getting hurt on are what you're talking about. So FGF is down 43 cents today. It was up a ton on Friday. People are getting excited about the op loans going public, the SPAC conversion. BTN is what the second one you're talking about. BTN is down 3% today, almost at 5. Still up 89% on BTN, up 82% on FGF.
Well, let's see what Big Five is doing. BGFV.
Oh, that's different. Big Five I don't own anymore. That's different. So that's one we bought at 189 and sold at 250. The one that I want to bring on though, that's down today, is 6. Put up 6 SIX.
Six Flags.
So we're down almost 6% today. Is there is there news on Benzinga Pro? Is that why is it moving up on top?
See. Go to
no, I see it. Look at the top. Look at the top, man. Don't you see it?
Shares of travel, hotel, cruise companies are trading lower amid increasing COVID-19 cases in Asia, as well as concerns over the Delta variant of the virus.
Okay, so 6 is down 5.7%. If this becomes a bigger issue, then you're not going to see 6 and 60. So I haven't purchased more today. It is one of my bigger positions, but I'm down 9% on it in total. But it's that's, I mean, you're seeing sell off there. I mean, I'm down on Win today.
Win was down big. It went all the way down to 120 a share. Let's see where it's at now. Yeah, 120.44. This is one I still like. This one. I mean, it's been getting hurt a little bit, but we'll see. I mean, they've been talking a lot about that Delta variant, Raz, the Delta variant of COVID.
Yeah.
I don't know which vaccine you got, but I got Pfizer, and I saw an article today saying that Pfizer's vaccine is heavily effective against the Delta. So that's good news for me.
Yeah. But you're seeing gains in like Peloton today, Zoom, and you're seeing gains in that trade there.
In the COVID trade.
Yes. So it's not all for,
What about this one? So Match. Wait, where's Match.com? Oh, Match Group. This one, I feel like it's kind of both, because like as people go out more, they might be on the dating apps more to meet more people. But it's also, if things shut down again, then it's the only place people can meet people. So this one is one that I have on my watch list, Match.
Yep, it's interesting. Voyager, with crypto going up a little bit, Voyager is trading it's up 1.3%. It's a symbol of VYGVF. I still think they're seeing growth. There's still growth there, but I'm long it, so I'm still long it. And what am I? So Peloton, Twilio is moving up today, 3%. GBTC up 7%. Nike is, I'm so annoyed. So Nike, Josh Raznick, that was his pick like 4 months ago. I bought it. Now it took off on Friday because of earnings. So we're up 15.54% on the pick, but I only bought 5 shares. It was Josh's pick.
Josh just likes it because he likes to get on there and customize his shoes.
$658 we spent. Now it's $760. So I told Stacy it's up a lot. So Josh I made a lot of money. I didn't have the heart to tell him that I just bought 5 shares. I guess he's up $100 though. So
yeah, but if what's the regular advisor cut? Like 10%. So he should get 10% of that, right?
He should get it all. I mean, I should have bought more. He was right. I was wrong.
All right. Well, anything else you're looking at? We do have Neil going live on Get Technical right now.
No, I trimmed my Wendy's position a little bit when it went up, and they're saying the next memes, the next Reddit stock. So I've owned Wendy's, I bought it at $11. I sold 200 shares at like 25, and I'm just keeping the 600, letting them ride. Yeah, so that's all I got. That's all I got. Delta's down today too. What is this COVID stuff? Come on. People just want to be scared of stuff. All right.
I don't
know.
Go
to Neil.
All right.
Go to Neil.
Well, thank you for joining us on the Power Hour today. We are going over to Get Technical. It will automatically direct you there. So hang out with Neil and I over on Get Technical. And yeah,
send him over. Peace. Tony's made a lot of money on this
Peace
stuff.
And love. Shout out Tony.
Meme stocks, Neil. I mean like Reddit stocks. You know what I mean. Sorry. Okay. Peace.